Hello guys, this is how to graph a parabola that has non-real intercepts. So a situation where we have x's, where it's going north and south, where it's above or all above or all below the axis, the x-axis. So let's do one of those, something like this: f of x equals 2x squared plus 3x plus 10. I don't like that one very much. Let's start with an easier one. Okay, start with an easier one. F of x equals x squared plus 4x plus 10. Okay, so this is going to end up having imaginary roots. And my goal is to graph this. Okay, so if I want to graph it, I really need to know where the vertex is. I would like to know the y-intercept. That would kind of help. And I know the x-intercepts are going to be none. Now, the way I can check that is that I know the x-intercepts come from checking this for a square, the quadratic formula for a square root under the negative. So let's just do that real quick. X equals -4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 40. 16 minus 40 all over 2a. So 16 minus 40 is all over 2, sorry. 16 minus 40 is negative, so it's going to be an imaginary number. So we know the x-intercepts are going to be none here. They're going to be imaginary. All right, so now we're going to go to the vertex. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our idea that if I look at this equation, if I look at a new equation that has the same Vx, x squared plus 4x, okay, this has got the same Vx as the f of x. So now I'm going to say 0 equals, I'm going to find the x-intercepts of this, and that's easy to factor. And I find out that the x-intercepts are at 0 and -4. So Vx is equal to 0 plus -4 divided by 2. So that's going to be -2. So I know that the Vx is -2. The x-coordinate to the vertex is -2. So then I go over here and I say, okay, what happens if I plug in -2 into the equation? So Vy is going to come from -2 squared is going to be 4 plus -2 times 4 is -8 plus 10. And then this is going to be, this is -4 plus 10 is 6. So then I know that Vx is 6, or Vy is 6. The y-intercept, I know that the x-coordinate is 0, and if I plug 0 into this equation, I'm going to get 0 squared plus 0 plus 10. So I know that's 10. So I'm going to show you now how to get this graph. So now I'm going to go to -2, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's my vertex. Now, the whole idea about the quadratic is that it's from the vertex, it's squaring whatever horizontal movement you make to get the net, to figure out where the point is vertically. So I'm going to say move over 1, and 1 squared is 1, so that means I go up 1. And if I go -1 from the vertex, I go up 1, because -1 squared is 1. If I go over 2, I should go up 2 squared, which is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, I knew that point was going to be on there. And if I go over to the -2 squared is going to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So parabolas, their job is to square things, square inputs. So we're just going to square our horizontal movement from our vertex to figure out how much vertical movement I go. All right, so there is our graph. Okay, now I'm going to do another one. Let's see. Let's get rid of this. If you need to watch that again and see how that happens, go ahead and rewind the tape. Okay, clear annotations. All right, so let's pick another one. Let's do f of x equals negative 2x squared plus 4x, and then I'm going to say minus 10. No, minus 9. Minus 9. Okay? So let's first, we need the vertex, we need the y-intercept, and then we need the x-intercepts. And usually we find these x-intercepts first. So, but the problem is, if I do this one, let's see the x-intercepts, I'm going to use x equals negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16, and then minus 4 times negative 2 is negative 8 times negative 9 is going to be 72. So 72. Again, we end up with 16 minus 72. That's a negative value. We can stop. There are no x-intercepts in this one. So now let's figure out what Vx and Vy are. Okay, so Vx, we know that Vx can come from the equation negative 2x squared plus 4x. So the sister equation to this that has the same Vx. So this, if I factor out, so if I find the x-intercepts of this, I factor out a negative 2x, and I'm left with x minus 2 behind. So negative 2x could be 0, or x minus 2 could be 0. So then x is equal to 0, or x is equal to 2. So now I know Vx is 0 plus 2 divided by 2. It's the average of those two. We get 1. So Vx is 1. And now I'm going to come up here and plug that back in. So let's see. Vy comes from negative 2 times 1. 1 squared is 1. Plus 4 times 1 is 4. Minus 9. So let's see. Negative 2 plus 4 minus 9. So negative 2 plus 4 is 2, negative 7. All right. So negative 7 is our yes, I did. Okay. And then the y-intercept, if I plug in 0 for the x's, I get negative 9. So 0 comma negative 9. All right. So let's come over here and say 1, negative 7. That's my vertex. And then I know that negative 9 is my y-intercept. So this is my vertex here. Okay. And so let's see. If I go over 1, 1 squared is 1. So I should be going up 1, but I'm not. This thing is looking down here. So remember, the a value, after you square your horizontal, you multiply by the a value. So over 1, 1 squared is 1, times negative 2 is negative 2. So that tells me to go down 2, like that. Now, if I went left 1, negative 1 movement, negative 1 squared is 1, times negative 2 is negative 2. If I go over 3, 1, 2, if I go over 2, 1, 2, 2 squared is 4, times negative 2 is negative 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So go down 8. And then remember, you kind of get a bonus point every time. You can just flip this point over. This is 2 away from the vertex line. This is 2 away from the vertex line. And you can draw your equation. All right. So there's how you graph those. I'm going to do one more of them, and then I'm going to do this one kind of fast. So that way you can see the last piece. So maybe you were taking notes on the first part. Now you can just kind of watch and try to predict what I'm going to do. If I have f of x equals 3x squared plus 2x plus 4, okay, so find the x-intercepts. I think these are going to be, so that's going to be 0 equals 3x squared plus 2x plus 4. So now I have to use the quadratic formula. X equals negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus 4 times 3 is 12 times 4 is 40 times 48. Yep, that's imaginary. So there's no x-intercepts. There's no x-intercepts there. Now I'm going to go to my vertex, but Vx is going to come from the sister equation, g of x equals 3x squared plus 2x. So this is going to be kind of ugly, but that's okay. So this is going to be x on the outside and 3x plus 2 on the inside. So x is equal to 0, and let's see, 3x plus 2 is equal to 0, because I want this to be equal to 0, because I'm finding x-intercepts. So this is x equals negative 2/3. If I subtract the 2 over and divide by 3. So now if I add those up, 0 plus negative 2, and I divide them by 2, I get negative 2/3 divided by 2 is going to be Vx, which is negative 1/3. All right, so negative 1/3 is my Vx. And then my Vy, I got to plug negative 1/3 in. So you've seen me do this a bunch. 3 times 1/9, because 1/3, you square the top and the bottom. Okay, plus 2 times negative 1/3 is negative 2/3, and then plus 4. So now I have to get, this is going to be 3 times 1/9 is 3/9, which is really 1/3. So that's good. Plus negative 2/3. So good. I have denominator of 3, denominator of 3. So I got to get 4 as the denominator of 3. So 4 is the same as 12 over 3. And now I'm going to add. So let's see. 1/3 and negative 2/3 is negative 1/3. And negative 1/3 and 12/3 is 11/3. Okay, so now I got to find the spot 1/3, negative 1/3, and 11/3. So negative 1/3, negative 1/3, negative 1/3, and 11/3, which is going to be 2 and 2/3. 1, 2, and 2/3. So there's my vertex. The y-intercept, if I plug in 0, is going to be 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I go right there. And then I have to, if I go, that's over 1/3 this way. So if I go over 1/3 this way, I would have the same point. So here is my parabola. And there we go. All right, so there's graphing parabolas with imaginary, having to use that sister equation to find Vx.